NACTA members, want to welcome you to this week's NACTA webinar. My name is Lorene Romero. I am your webinar moderator for today. This afternoon, we have a very special guest. We have two, actually. We have Betsy Grazer, who is the Vice President of Uniglobe, and her sidekick is Summer Corbett. She is the sales marketing manager, and she's going to be, learning how to do this. And I'm very excited to hear what they have to say. Uniglobe Travel Center has been a long-time supplier for NACTA and a very good supporter of travel agents. Want to do a little bit of housekeeping for you. This is being recorded. Everybody is on mute. That way it will prevent any background sounds to prevent a clear recording. After the end of our session, we will have a Q&A session, and this will give you the opportunity to be able to put some questions into the question box, and I'll be happy to read them for you. When this is done, we will upload it to our new YouTube NACTA channel. I encourage everybody to subscribe to that channel, and you will get the recording automatically. In the next day or two, you will receive a message that will include the link, so you'll be able to go and watch this again. So for now, I am going to turn it over to Betsy. Thank you again for being here, and I'm really looking forward to what you have to say.
Well, thank you, Lorene, and thank you, everybody, for joining us today. Summer and I are very excited to be here and take a little time with you. We will try to keep this as quick as possible because I know everybody's busy and has, lots of vacations to book, so we don't want to take up too much of your time. So that's me. I am Betsy Geiser. I'm the VP of Uniglobe Travel Center. You can read all that, blah, blah, blah. And, of course, I'm a crazy rescue mom. I have 2 cats and a dog, and I always actually say I have a cat and a dog, and my cat has a cat because my cat doesn't like anybody but my other cat. So, and then, crazy runner, and, I started running a few years ago, and for some reason thought, running half marathons was a good idea. So now this weekend, I will be doing my 6th half marathon here in Orange County. So that's kind of exciting. And then we have Miss Summer Corbett. Summer, take it away. Talk about you.
Okay. It's nice to meet everybody. So yeah, I actually just joined Uniglobe in January as their sales and marketing manager, and I'm loving it so far. I graduated from Florida State with a few degrees. My big accomplishment is I'm about to turn 30, and the goal was to reach all 7 continents before I turned 30, and I did. So that other picture is me on a G Adventures trip to Antarctica, and it was amazing. And so then when I'm not traveling and I'm home, I'm really into do-it-yourself. Betsy's actually seen it. I'm redoing a cottage on my parents' property and working on some butcher block countertops. So between traveling and DIY, I try and keep myself busy when I'm not working. But it's very nice.
She's doing that while we're talking.
Yeah, I'm speaking, multitasking.
So, so Summer, it's funny because, my goal before I turned 50 was to run a half marathon, and Summer's is to see all 7 continents, which I have yet to do, so one of these days. So today we're going to talk about choosing your path to success. As a travel agent, you have so many options out there, and, trying to figure out which is going to be the right option for you, it can be a little bit confusing. Even if you try to go online and do research, there's just so much information out there. And of course, that's why we tell, travelers they need travel agents. There's just too much information out there. So we're going to try to help you sort through it. And then this is always a good reminder, especially, for me personally, sometimes the right path is not always the easiest one. We like to try to choose the easiest path, and it just doesn't always work out the way you hope it does. Sometimes we need to put a little fight in there and get what we really want. So the 3 things that we're going to talk to you today about is being an employee or being an independent contractor, alone, without any affiliations, or being hosted. So let's start with being an employee. Being an employee, I've got only good things to say about being an employee. I am one. Summer is an employee. We get a regular paycheck. We have, benefits. And I know many travel agencies will have some benefits. Maybe they won't offer all of them, but you will have some benefits. You get office space and equipment that you don't have to worry about. That's always a bonus. The downside is I'm going to get the same paycheck whether I work 40 or 80 hours a week. There really is a whole bunch of flexibility. I need to be here when I need to be here, and I can't say, hey, I'm going to work today 2 to 10. My boss wouldn't be too happy about that. And as a travel agent, if you're working in an agency, sometimes you may get little to no recognition from suppliers. And, finally, you're not building your own brand. You're working on your employee's brand. So is being an employee right for you? Well, if you need a steady paycheck, it's the only way to go. You don't have to worry about having your own clients. Generally, as an employee of an agency, they're looking for people to take their overflow. However, if you do have clients, that's definitely a benefit, and they're probably going to be a little bit quicker to hire you. If you don't like marketing, you have an agency that's going to market for you, and you don't mind working for somebody else. Sometimes you get a boss like me that's really easy to get along with, and it's okay. Shut up, Summer. So,
great boss.
So being independent, are there benefits? Absolutely. You're your own boss. You can work anytime you want. You can grow your own brand. I'm sorry. You have the ability to control what you earn, and you can develop your own relationships. So, suppliers will know who you are, hopefully. So the downside, no support if you run into issues. So, your client is booked through one of your suppliers that you work with. Maybe you don't do a ton of volume. They're having a problem. They contact you, you contact the supplier, and you don't really do a lot of business with them. So they might not pull out all the stops to help you. And I've seen that, unfortunately. Also, your commission, if you're booking multiple suppliers, chances are your commission's going to be low across the board. And, you're on your own. You have nobody to call when you run into a problem. Is it for you? Well, if you're very experienced, absolutely, and if you're very specialized. I always tell people, if you book a couple suppliers and you're getting top-tier commission with those suppliers and you don't mind doing all the other work, then being on your own is absolutely fine. However, if you're booking, like I said, multiple suppliers and you're not getting top-tier with any of them, then you're leaving a ton of money on the table, as well as, the lack of support that you're getting, or you're not getting any support because you don't have a network behind you. So I definitely think that, if neither of those look like they're going to suit you, then you need to look at hosted. So what are the benefits of being a hosted independent contractor? You get to develop your own brand. You have a flexible schedule. You earn top-tier commissions. You get supplier recognition based on the host agency's relationships with their suppliers. And at this point, I'm going to talk about Uniglobe Travel Center because I am the best example that I can think of for all of these items that we're going to talk about. As far as supplier recognition, I do send our suppliers reports on a regular basis of who our top bookers are with them. So if you're a top booker with a supplier and you're with Uniglobe Travel Center, our suppliers are going to know who you are. We want to make sure that our agents are recognized. It's very important. Based on how we operate, and it's very relationship based. So not only do we want to have a good relationship with our independent contractors, but we want our independent contractors to have a good relationship with our suppliers. So we work really hard at developing those relationships, and that's why we share that information. We also, like I said, our network of agents is just phenomenal. We have our annual conference each year, and we really, it's almost like a family reunion. It's kind of hard to talk about because it sounds too sappy, and I'm not really a sappy person. But it is a good community of people that really work hard together. And of course, we have best back office support from the best support staff in the industry. They work really hard, and they won't leave until everything's taken care of.
And just, Betsy, before you move on, as far as the network of agents, we also have on our intranet site, so whenever you're a part of Uniglobe, something that's really amazing is how much information sharing goes on between our agents. So if you're a new agent or even an experienced agent and you have a question, we have a forum that you can post it to, and we always have agents who comment on that and give advice, because there's no way you're going to know everything about everything, and so our agents are really helpful and always willing to offer support to any of the new agents that come in and post on that forum.
So, and I'm glad you went there, Summer. Let's back up a few years. And about 5 or 6 years ago, Summer actually was an independent contractor with us. And, you know, when she came to her first conference, and she was a brand newbie, she didn't really know anything. Well, she knew things, she just didn't know much about travel. So she came on board with us. I called her out because she was so young, and I was just so excited to have somebody so young in our network. And how many agents came up to you and offered help?
I think everyone in that room. I mean, I had people coming to sit with me at breakfast, at lunch, at dinner, and I mean, they wanted to pick my brain, you know, about social media or things about millennials, but they also were just like so willing to kind of help me and give me advice about things they had learned.
So yeah, I mean, it really is a good group of agents that we have. Okay, so we have more benefits as a hosted independent contractor. You get access to marketing tools that might be, you know, cost prohibitive if you were on your own. Business development assistance. We have somebody on staff that's going to be there to work with you on, you know, you're kind of in a slump. You don't know what to do. You need a little motivation. We've got somebody on staff that's going to help get you there. We have coaching and mentoring. So if you're brand new to the industry, we've got 2 people. That's what their job is to help you build a good foundation in the industry to be a successful travel professional. And then again, we have annual conferences so you can meet and network with other agents, and of course our suppliers, because like I said, you know, we are very relationship based. We want everybody to know everybody, and we want everybody to love everybody. So we work really hard at that. And then, you know, in addition, you do get a website. And I did want to mention, you know, this is a big year for us because it is our 20th anniversary. So we've been, you know, hosting independent contractors since 1996. And that is definitely going to be a big highlight at our conference. I'm really excited about that. 20 years is a long time if you think about where you've been in the last 20 years. Boy, Summer, you were 9 years old.
Yeah.
So a lot changes in 20 years, and I'm glad to say that, you know, that we've not only grown, but we've become stronger. Okay, so hosted, what is the downside? Because of course there are downsides. Not all suppliers will recognize you. You know, if you're not doing a lot of performance, they're not going to, you know they may not know you. They may not know that you even booked with them. Like if you've booked one cruise on Regent, well, no, that Regent's different. If you've booked one cruise on Royal Caribbean, our Royal Caribbean rep may not know you. We work really hard to make sure everybody knows everybody, but you know, like we focus on a few preferred suppliers, we really encourage our agents to focus on a few preferred suppliers as well. So you can do well on them, and they do recognize you and are willing to go that extra length when you really need some help. You're not building your own supplier volume, but that's, you know, not a bad thing either. Some people think that they really ultimately should try to build their business so they can go out on their own. If they are hosted, they don't need to be hosted, you know, in 10 years. And that's not true. We have agents that have been with us for 20 years and 15 years, and they've been in the industry for a really long time. So, you know, once you're hosted, you can say, okay, you know, as long as your relationship with your host is working, there's no need to leave that relationship because you feel that, you know, your volume's growing and you need to go out on your own. You don't need to. There's still benefits for you staying hosted regardless. You may not have somebody local. You may not have a local rep to call in your agency. And this has been something that we've been working with suppliers for years. You know, our agents need and want local representation. And it's not always possible, but some suppliers have really figured out the host agency model. And the local reps are willing to work with you. In the instances where they're not, our local supplier reps will make sure that you have everything that you need. If you want to do a cruise night and one of our cruise reps is not local, they will make sure that you have everything you need in addition to offering co-op funds. Again, there's no guaranteed paycheck. You need to work to earn. And if you're new, it can take a little while to build your business. But if you're an experienced agent and you have a book of business, you know, you just have to keep working it. You have to market when you're busy because that's how you're going to get the new clients. And stay busy. Staying busy is, you know, the goal. So, is it right for you? Yes, if you're new to the industry, if you want to be your own boss, if you're too busy to deal with back office, because I know, you know, if you're an experienced, busy agent, that can take a lot of your time. You want to work by yourself, but you don't want to be alone. You want to know that you've got somebody to pick up the phone and call. And you want to have unlimited potential on your earnings because seriously, you do. You get top tier commissions. We have a very generous commission split depending on the program. We have 100% commission split. So, you know, you've got to put the dollars, you've got to figure out how you're going to make it all work. But with a host agency, with the top tier commissions and generous commission splits, chances are you're going to do financially better in that model. So a little bit about Uniglobe Travel Center. Like I said, we've been in business for 20 years. We're really excited about that. We have the best support staff ever, and 2 of our support staff has been with us for the entire 20 years. I've been with the company for 17 this year. Fabiola has been with us for 18 years. Jetta in our accounting department has been with us for 16 years. Sharon in our accounting department just celebrated 10 years. Connie's been with us 8 years, and Debbie's been with us for like 7 years. So we really have, and Carol's been with us for, Carol was with Uniglobe before the host agency division started or was acquired. So Carol's been with Uniglobe for 30 years, and we suckered her into the host agency side, and she is a wonderful business development manager and coach.
And Susan has been with us for...
Well, Susan's been with us for 20 years. Susan and Janet for 20 years. So we've got a lot of experience. You know, we've been doing this for a long time, so we figured out how to do it the best way, I think. Again, one-on-one coaching and mentoring for new agents, live coaching. You don't have to go online and listen to sessions that have been previously taped. You are going to be able to talk to real live people, and they're going to work with you, and they're going to customize their training based on your knowledge base and your business model, your business plans. If you're an experienced GDS agent, we offer Sabre and Amadeus, and we also offer up to 100% commissions. Anything I'm missing, Summer?
No, I think you covered it pretty well.
Okay. So this is everybody that I was talking about. We're missing a couple of our support staff in here, but we have Rose, who is one of our coaches, Susan, who's been with us for 20 years. She oversees operations. Carol is our business development manager. Jetta manages accounting, and I am on your lower right-hand side, and that is me with Summer when Summer came on board with us. So we are here for you. And that's about it. So if you have any questions, now would be a good time. Of course, please write down our contact information, and you can always reach out to us after this.
Great. Good job, Betsy. And good job, Summer. Look, your first webinar is over. Awesome. You did it. I do have a couple of questions that popped up in the question box.
Great.
So regarding, with agencies and you're hosting, and how does it work with in the area? Like if you are a Uniglobe member, are you listed in California? It's as home-based folks, we always have that conflict. Hi, I'm in Northern California, but my host is in Southern California. So how do suppliers work with us that way?
Well, as an independent contractor, when you're working with suppliers, you're with Uniglobe Travel Center. So your host agency is, you're using your host agency's booking number, phone number, ARC number, and so the supplier will recognize you from that agency. However, because we really want our suppliers and our agents to know each other well, our suppliers are very familiar with our model, and they know that you are not located in our office and that you could be anywhere around the country.
Perfect. Do you have a program that will assist new agents that are just beginning their careers?
Summer, do you want to take that?
Yeah, I'll take it. We do. We have a really awesome program, and I can say that because I actually went through it a few years ago, and it's even evolved since then. Betsy really designed it to be as close to kind of hands-on training as possible. So you do get those two coaches, and you talk with them over the phone. The phone calls are once a week with each of them for the first 2 months. And the reason you have two coaches is because one of them is going to show you, how you actually make those bookings and how you research trips for your clients. So really the technical side of how to be a travel agent. And then your other coach will cover practical aspects of having a travel agency. So, maybe exploring different niche markets with you, or finding out what kind of clients you want to bring in and how to advertise to them. So between the two of them, they give you a really good foundation of not just being a travel agent, but how to have your own independent travel agency. So we have a really extensive program for newbies, and I would love, love, love to talk to anyone interested in joining. You could just call me at that number and we can talk about it in detail.
Excellent, excellent. That's always great because we all have to start somewhere.
Yeah.
And it is wonderful when you're able to have somebody be your mentor. And you know what, Summer, you sound like you'd be really good at that. And encouraging people to, become independent, be yourself, brand yourself, get out there. So good for you. It's wonderful to hear that because some companies are like, nah, we only want the people who have 10 years of experience. So. Another question that popped up is, what is the fee structure and what do people need to do to get more information about how to join Uniglobe?
Well, they can definitely go on our website. It depends on the program. So I don't really want to go over fees because there are different fees for, if you're brand new to very experienced. But if you go to uniglobetravelcenter.com, the pricing is all outlined. We don't want to keep things hidden. Mm-hmm. So it is all on there. The initial fee ranges anywhere from $149 to $499, and the monthly fee ranges from $50 to $65, and then we have the commission split. And if you're an experienced GDS agent, there is, instead of a commission split, there's an invoice fee. So depending on the program, it will outline it, but then we'd also love to, chat with you so we can really explain it in detail.
And if you go onto our website, in the top right corner, there's a button that says Join Us, and that will take you to a form you can fill out that will send an inquiry directly to me, so I can get in contact with you that way as well.
Excellent. As part of your program, I think you mentioned this, they're asking, do you supply a website? And if so, who do you work with?
We do supply a website. It is through Passport Online. So it is included in your monthly fee to us. And it is, it's a great website for people that are new to the industry and have not necessarily figured out what they want to do. or for people that just don't want to have to worry about their website because it is refreshed. The content is refreshed on a daily basis, so you don't have to worry about it getting stale. If you have a really particular niche, you might want to upgrade and do your own website, but our website is perfect, like I said, for newbies and for people that just don't want to have to worry about it but know they need a website.
Next question, do you have a recommended number of suppliers that you would deal with on a regular basis? Just you'd mentioned kind of sticking to a niche and a number of suppliers. Do you have a recommendation from your experience?
Well, I would say if you're focusing on Mexico and the Caribbean, pick one that is your number one supplier, and then you'll have a couple backups in case that they don't have what you're looking for. So maybe FunJet is your number one supplier, but then you work with Apple and Travel Impressions for backup. So that way you're building your revenue on one, and you're also building a revenue on the other two, but not as significantly. And then definitely they're going to see those numbers growing, and they're going to give you some attention.
Perfect. And the last question I have is, what do you see as the role of a BDM? I thought that was actually kind of a cool question.
Well, okay, so in a host environment, so our BDM works not only with our agents, but they work with me. We set marketing goals and marketing plans. We do webinars with them so our agents, can get updated on product. But to our agents, the BDM really is their lifeline to that supplier. So, if you have questions about product, you've got access to the BDM. You can call them up. We've got their phone numbers and emails listed on our internet platform. If you have issues, I always say come to me, because sometimes your issues, if you've got a client that had something go wrong, the emails can get a little passionate, and I want to kind of weed through that and just get the facts to the supplier rep. But they're there. So if there is an issue, they will take care of it. We've had situations where agents have gotten impatient and have gone up the ladder in customer support to get help. However, had they just come to me and we had gone right to our rep, that issue could have been resolved immediately without having to go up the ladder. So your rep is your lifeline to your supplier, to that company.
And I just want to add to, Betsy demands a very high standard also from our suppliers and our BDMs. So she's always the best person to go to if it becomes an issue, but they do a really good job because Betsy demands that for our agents.
Which is wonderful, because you want your host to do that. Betsy, you go to bat for agents, and that's what's really important. And clearly, with the longevity of the staff that you have there and people that are involved, that really demonstrates the passion and the dedication, which I think is pretty remarkable. And I want to be able to commend all of you for that. As we're transitioning through this webinar, I know that you had said that at the end you may have a question and something for the agents who have been paying attention and are at their keyboards.
Yeah, Summer, take it away.
Yeah, so I think we have a $50 gift card for whoever answers the question first and correctly. So hope your fingers are ready on your keyboard. So
okay, put them before you do that. I've got it. So we have the ground rules. So because I'm the one getting the answer, put it in the question box. For those of you who are at your keyboards and waiting, make sure you put the correct answer in the question box.
All right. We ready?
Go for it.
Okay. So what big important milestone is Uniglobe celebrating this year?
All right. The very first person to answer that question was Jess. Jess, congratulations. Would you do me a favor? The next message, put in the chat box for me your email address, and I will make sure to connect you with Summer and Betsy, please. Congratulations. Got the answer of 20 years right. Boom. Didn't take long.
Fantastic. Congratulations, Jeff, and thanks for paying attention.
Look at that. Boom. Already on the email with the email. Perfect. Thank you. Thank you, ladies. Do you have any last minute things you want to be able to put out there? I think you covered everything and you did a great job.
Well, thank you very much. So we look forward to hearing from you guys if you have questions. There's our phone number, and you can reach us also at Uniglobe Travel info at uniglobetravelcenter.com, or UTC info. I'm sorry. It's UTC info at uniglobetravel.com. And we should put that up there for next time, Summer. Okay. Everybody have a fantastic day.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you, ladies. I hope everybody has a good rest of the week. And stay healthy out there. Get busy and close those bookings. Bye-bye.